Hey, 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 welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J1999, and welcome to the show. You're probably wondering, what is a lunch stream? Well, that's where we just hang out with you good folks for the next hour, bring you some quality entertainment for your lunch, whatever you may be eating, whether it's veggies or meat or whatever it is. Candy bars, Dr. Peppers, breakfast cereals, it doesn't really matter. We've got the crew here with you, well, some of them. We've got Sandy Red, the Soulless One.
Hello there.
We've got Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Pizza rolls.
We've got Mike Hunt with us.
Bacon butties.
We've got Vince Steele, the Battlefront expert.
Hey.
And, of course, we have the lovely Dana Descent with us as well. How's everybody doing today?
Yay, good afternoon.
Hey, hey. And a good afternoon to everybody in chat. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Tuesday. It's the day before the 4th of July, so I'm sure everybody's prepping for the big event for tomorrow here in the good old US of A. Just as a reminder, we will not be having a lunch stream tomorrow. We will have a stream tomorrow as our regular Wednesday night stream. And it'll probably just be me and Finn, maybe one or two other people, but we'll still stream tomorrow night. That being said, not a lot going on. We got light side territory battles. No big news yet. You know, just to let you know, tonight we will do a Battlefront stream. We will be doing ships. The new ship content is out, so me and, of course, Vince Hill will be looking at it and playing it. We did a bunch of ship stuff yesterday. I got better. V is really good. So that's why we have dual cameras, because sometimes it's better to watch V than me. I get like 25 kills, he has 58. It's like, oh my god. So today we are going to be doing our roster reviews like we normally do, but we are doing a special roster review because we are doing the lovely Dana Descent, and I will pull hers up right now.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm happy and scared. My mods are definitely a mess. And it's embarrassing. And yeah.
It's a good thing Grande isn't here.
Yeah,
then
thank God.
he might explode.
Yeah, spare you that. You never know when he might just pop out of nowhere. The big deal, just you never know what's going to go on with that guy. And go ahead and shout out your guild.
Empire Vanguard, part of the Empire Alliance, and I know there's like other Empire alliances, but we're the ones with the little thing over the eye. I don't even know what it's called, but the little like upside down V. Yeah,
I don't know.
that's us.
You have to tell us. We don't know anything.
Yeah, I have.
Come Cobra
I have no
asked me
idea.
to be on the stream. I'm trying to invite him. Oh Lord. All right, I got him added. All right, so Empire Vanguard. So, what are we looking for today in your roster review? You said mods. Anything else you want us to look at?
Just like let me see. I wrote it down. So I'm working on developing my heroic Sith raid teams. I am farming Scion and Death Trooper, Wicket, Visas, and occasionally Holdo. And I could definitely use some help with ships. I've not spent any materials on anything because, and I've said this a few times already, I have a problem with committing to stuff. So, yeah, so I haven't done anything, and you know, like I'm struggling to get below 200, and most of the time I don't get below 200, and you know, my arena, if I'm able to get the battles in, I get down below 100, but otherwise I'm kind of stuck above.
Well, I think that's probably a mod issue, so if someone can look at her mods while I go look at her overall roster. And we will look at the teams you will need for Heroic Sith and give you an assessment of what you need to do. One of them, young lady, is going to be staying on target. Don't make me give you the tit speech. During her first pass glance, looks like you got a lot of pieces already. Alright, let's look at phase 1. See, I'm assuming you're running the JTR team BB-8 R2-D2, right?
I haven't yet because I just got her when we did that Angel stream.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And I just threw mods on her yesterday to use her in territory battle, so they're not perfect, and I didn't really, I just got stuff on so I could get in because our phase 1 gets done 3-starred so quickly that I just slapped them on there and got in to do my combats.
JTR team looks fine. You've got them gear 11. Resistance Troopers gear 11. Are you working on Hermit Yoda at all?
I am. He is. Well, I got him 7-star very recently.
Okay.
And I want to go for Wampa, but at the same time, I've been trying to buy gear.
Well,
and I know I probably shouldn't.
Well, you're trying to make that push to gear 12 for these characters. I can understand it. You've got Hermit Yoda. I mean, you can use someone Wampa, someone gear, right? You can kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not
yeah.
You know, especially if you're hurting for gear 12, that's kind of the balance that we always talk about. But the resistance team looks fine. You got Hermit Yoda, get him to gear 11 at least, and you should be fine. You know, you want to get all these characters to gear 12. That's when they really shine. And Hermit Yoda will be a valuable piece for this team.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I get where you're going with that. You want the gear 12 pieces, but if you know, once they're both 7-star, everything you get is gear 12 pieces.
Yeah.
And it's like being in the candy shop. It's so nice to just go, I'll have 10 of that and 4 of this and 4 of this and 10 of that. And then watch your 8,000 credits drop down.
Yeah.
I tend to hover around about 1,400 by the end of it all. Once I've bought everything that I either need immediately or preparing. Because obviously it's the two sides, isn't it? It's the gold part, but you also need the purple part to you know, complete the set. 40 of that and
right.
so on. But yeah, sorry.
All right, First Order is a team that you can use. I can see they're all 7-starred. However, Execution, I can tell you haven't been working on him at all. You can get by without it. It's not as effective with him in there, but you can go either Officer or Special Forces. I would lean towards Special Forces because he does have the ship. They both work really well. I went Officer route, but both work really well. The First Order Stormtrooper, Kylo Ren, Executioner, and regular Kylo Ren, and that team will really get you a nice score in Heroic Sith. But that's just a gear thing, and then a form thing with Executioner. That's one possibility. It looks like let's look at your troopers.
Is Executioner's in the cantina?
Yeah, he's a cantina.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and I'm trying to finish up Death Trooper right now because I didn't farm the vets the first time around, and because I thought I had some more time. I mean, when I was slowly farming them, and I thought I had some more time, and then I missed out, and then so I was behind. But yeah, Death Trooper's close to. I mean, I think he's halfway to 7
gear
stars.
11. Get him to 7 stars, and then go.
Yeah, and I think I have all this stuff waiting for him, or at least I did, and then I might have geared some people up, but yeah. Okay.
Troopers look fine, just need to get them to at least gear 11 to be effective.
Okay,
they're another team you can use in phases. You can use them in phase 2 or phase 4.
Okay.
Troopers can be part of your Chex Mix team, so you want them geared up and stuff.
Should I do all like Shore, Snow, and Magma all to gear 11?
I would do all 6 of those. Magma, because when you're using Death Trooper, like you can use this team even in phase 1 with Magma Trooper, or you can use Magma Trooper in other teams, different combinations. So he's a really good piece. So yeah, just get him to gear 11, and then the goal here is to get as many characters to gear 11. Because getting a lot of characters from gear 11 to gear 12, there's always that one piece that takes like 3 pieces. So it's a little different, right? Than 10 to 11, then from 11 to 12. 11 to 12 is always a nightmare for a lot of tunes. So just get them to gear 11, and then you can be really effective in the Sith raid. And then let's look at your Night Sisters. So far, you've got the JTR team pretty much locked in. You've got the potential for First Order. You've got the Chex Mix team ready to go, right? He's got to get Death Trooper finished and 7-starred. He's already gear 11, so you'll be good to go there. And then let's look at your Night Sisters.
Yeah, they were. That was my recent farm.
Oh yeah,
was for
they're
them.
really good. Yeah, they're fine. You got Zombie, you got everything, Talia. They're done. So that's going to be your phase 4 team. And you've got a weak Zombie that's really good. Well, it's gear 8. Still pretty weak. You could change some of the mods around to make her weaker, or like some people go in there with like one mod just so she doesn't have any protection. Okay. Right. And because you want her dying as much as possible, and then you have Asajj, Mother Talz, and Doc and Talia just going bananas on Nihilus, and they, because of Asajj's Zeta and her lead, you're removing turn meter from him, and it does work. Right, that's what makes the Night Sisters so effective.
Yeah,
you're spreading plague when it lands, not on the bosses, but it'll get rid of those ads. You can just plague them and forget about it. It's a little bit harder. Sometimes you need RNG, but if you got to mod them correctly, you should be fine. But you go in there with a weak zombie. Every time it's dying, you're constantly just getting turn meter back to your guys, and then Asajj is hitting harder. They're a monster team in Phase 4. So really, for Heroic Sith Raid, I don't think any first order. So I would finish your gear up for your troopers, right?
Okay.
Finish Death Trooper, and then go back in and do gear for first order. Get them to gear 11. So you can use the team and be effective. Get your Executioner as their next farm out of Cantina, and you're looking good. I think you're really set up for you're set up well for Rogue Sith. I don't see anything here. Yeah, it's just some tweaks and some minor farming, little gear, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, the Night Sisters. I know, like I had just gotten Talzin and Zombie up to 7-star recently. I would say like maybe a week and a half or so ago.
Yeah.
And it made a huge difference. I mean, I was running the OG Night Sisters and trying to get. It was awful. I was coming off with scores of like 500,000, and I don't know. I mean, I watched videos. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but swapping them out and putting Talzin and a Zombie in, it's awesome. My first run was like 2.5 million the first time I ever used them, and then the next time it was 3. So, I love the Night Sisters. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're a really amazing team, especially in Phase 4. They really kick ass. Let's see here. So, mods. How are we looking? Anybody looking at the mods?
So, her mods. So your mods aren't bad, Dana. They're concentrated on characters, and they're built properly. The only question I have is you also have a lot of your speed mods on Jedi Training Rey, who is outside of your arena team. So was there a reason for that?
Yeah, those were just hanging out in my inventory, and yesterday when I wanted to use her for the first time, I hadn't used her yet, so I put her in for the combat for territory battle, and I was rushing to get it done, so I just slapped mods on her because we go through the first phase really, really fast, and I wanted to make sure I got all my combats in, so I just I didn't know what I was doing with them. I just threw them on, and that's why she has the mods she has. Yeah.
Okay, and do you have all of your mods equipped on characters?
Yeah, that's the next thing I'm about to ask you for. No,
well, I mean, the ones I use, I think I do. But I got mods. I got some decent secondary speed mods recently, like I would say the past 2 days, and I haven't put them on anyone yet. I looked at my arena team, and I couldn't, without like losing speed set bonuses or some other things, I couldn't figure out where to put them. So I was just kind of
get mods on all your characters.
Right.
Every single one.
They don't have to have speed. So from some of these characters that you're not using, right? You're not using, you need to just have 5 mods level 15 for your ships, because that's going to hurt you by not having those.
Not even that, right?
I'm just saying for the basic.
Have in your mod inventory don't show up on your GG page.
Right.
And so if you just took random mods that you had that in your collection that weren't on characters and you threw it on Jedi Training Rey, you threw on a +17, a +16, and a +15 that I can see in the first 3 rows.
Yeah.
So you possibly have a lot of mods that are sitting there, right? So make use of the fact that your characters essentially work as a mod inventory. So take your characters up to level 50, and that's it. You don't have to put any gear, anything else. You get them to level 50. That unlocks their ability to hold mods, and just stick mods on them. That's all you have to do. You don't have to level up the mods or anything like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. I can do that.
And then they'll show up on GG. And then you might have some mods that are just sitting out there that you didn't even realize. Or later on, right? So now you're getting more focused on Heroic Sith Raid. So for Phase 3, for example, with Chex Mix, right? You're looking for that plus offense flat stat in order to increase the physical damage, in order to increase the standalone transference to Han and all that kind of fun stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You're not normally paying attention to that stat, I imagine.
No, not normally. I mean, I if it's there and I know, but no. Usually I'm just looking for speed.
It's possible you have a level 1 gold mod, and you can tell me if it's possible. I don't know what you say.
Oh yeah,
you don't.
I'm sure I do.
You have a level 1 gold mod with no speed, but has a plus offense stat that may end up being worth leveling if you knew that it was there. If you're focusing on phase 3, right?
Yeah.
So just get your characters to level 50 and then throw mods on.
That's actually how I found that 25 speed secondary.
On Memphis.
So the mod was just sitting. I was like, I need to go through my mods and sell some so I can, it's just getting cluttered. And I was like, ooh, here's a level 1 gold mod. I was like, I don't know where this came from. Did I get from an event? Maybe. I don't know how long it was there, but I leveled it up, and it was the 25 speed secondary. And I screamed. I squeed, actually, I think. And played the guessing game. Me and my husband guessed what it was. And I'm like, guess what I got? And I freaked out. And I think, I've told the story a couple of times, but I went to every server that I actually talked to people in, and I posted it, and, I was so excited.
So
I think
for
once you do that, you'll be able to figure out.
So for arena team, the mods look okay, Finn?
I mean, so she has some of her better speed mods, not a lot, like those 3 that I mentioned, a 17, a 16, and a 15 on Jedi Training Rey, but that's because she just threw it on there. But when I look at Thrawn and I look at Enfys, who you're trying to get your fastest, you have good sets on them. You might be able to switch certain things out. Like if you switch the triangle between Thrawn and Jedi Training Rey, you'll gain 2 more speed on Thrawn, for example.
Okay.
And there's little things as you go through this you'll be able to kind of optimize, but it looks like you don't have a problem optimizing. All of your mods are focused correctly, so I don't have any real issue with it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're focusing on speed, then you're fine.
Oh yeah, well I have my husband to thank for that, because I told you before, Finn, that mods I have a hard time with him, so I just passed the phone over to him. I'm like, please, can you help me? And then he sits there for like an hour or 2, and then he gets really pissed off and annoyed at the mods. But then I get the phone back, and I have an arena team that functions pretty well.
I think once you put those mods on other characters, you might be able to find some other ones, and then he'll be able to help you with the remodding and stuff to get some even more speed on some of your characters here. I think you might be able to
get your ships are really solid. I don't know why you're struggling so much. Other than the only thing I could think of is you don't have mods on some of these characters.
Or she didn't know
the kill order.
Oh God, it's oh God, Gandhi's here. Oh Jesus, oh my God.
No, I'm serious though about ships.
It's definitely possible that I don't know the kill order.
So who are you running in your lineup right now? Who's your starting lineup?
Biggs, Vader ship, and
TIE Fighter.
I think so.
That's my starting lineup, and I take one every day.
And who do you attack first?
So I have.
You go for.
I have first order TIE Fighter, Biggs, and Vader ship, and then
what's your regular TIE Fighter pilot at?
He's in. I have a Scimitar, then the TIE Fighter, and then Bow ship, and then TIE Reaper.
We need to swap TIE Fighter pilot and first order TIE Fighter pilot.
Right. First.
Okay.
And you
all right.
That's the first thing I would do.
So, it should be big.
Yes.
I usually try to ability block Vader ships because someone said to do that.
No. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna use basics on Biggs Darklighter. So first person's turn is usually TIE Fighter pilot, right?
Okay.
And because you're gonna put regular Empire TIE Fighter pilot in a lineup, you're gonna go for Biggs. You're gonna go target lock, basic, right? Then the new ships is all about doing a basic. Remember how we had that funny thing where it was like Grande was like, do a basic, do a basic, do a basic. This is what you're gonna do in ships like all the time, right?
Okay.
So you're gonna do a basic. You're gonna get a target lock or not get a target lock. Then it's gonna be Vader's turn. You're gonna target Biggs. You're gonna do a target lock, and you're gonna get damage over time on Biggs.
Okay.
Then it's gonna be your Biggs' turn. You're gonna use Biggs' AOE. Biggs' special, because it's gonna call. So Biggs can get a target lock by himself.
Okay.
And then both of the ships he calls in can do a basic and do a target lock on Biggs, right? On the other Biggs. So now you've got that Biggs sitting there with target lock and like 6 damage over times, potentially, right?
Okay.
Now it's Thrawn's. Now it's Scimitar's turn. It's Thrawn's turn, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna do a basic on Thrawn, and you're gonna
basic.
Yes, and you're gonna target Vader on Biggs. On the opponent's Biggs. So now you get more damage over time.
So I use Thrawn's basic on Biggs?
On Vader with Biggs.
On Vader with, okay.
So you're always targeting Biggs, right? And here's the reason why. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to end up with Biggs with target lock and like 8 damage over time. Because what happens is as soon as it's Biggs' turn, Biggs explodes and goes away.
Oh,
and then he has babies.
And so then let me tell you what do I call in? The next thing I call in is I call in another taunting tank. My favorite taunting tank to call in is Sunfac.
Oh, okay.
You may not have Sunfac, but here's why.
Oh, I have his ship and I have him, but he's not leveled up.
I have him at gear level 9. I have him at 9. Here's what happens. So now it's my turn, and Thrawn gets to call someone in, right? So I target TIE Fighter pilot because it's unavoidable that when Sunfac comes in, he will stun TIE Fighter pilot.
Okay.
He comes in, boom, he's stunned. Then I go back and I target Vader. And I use Sunfac's special. Okay. And about half the time I stun their Vader. So now I have 4 ships on the field, and then my opponent has 2, and they're both stunned.
Okay. All right.
Now everybody uses a basic or a special on Vader except for Vader. Vader always targets TIE Fighter pilot. Why? And he always does a basic because
he never misses.
Because it's unavoidable, right?
Okay.
And because TIE Fighter pilot, when he evades, hopefully he's not voiding on the field. Hopefully he's evading. But when he evades, he gives turn meter to the opponent's capital ship. I don't want that. So we're only going to use Vader against TIE Fighter pilot. Everybody else is going up against the other guy's Vader.
Okay.
The second ship I call in is Boba Fett. I call in Boba Fett. Now I got another taunt. So I've called in 2 taunts. One of the taunts double stuns. The other one comes in with retribution and an AOE. Right? I got everybody on the field target locked. Which means even if they bring in a Boba Fett, or they bring in a Sunfac, or they bring in a clone sergeant, my Boba Fett comes in and I go, oh, AOE to your enemies, and I hit them all again.
Okay.
So first reinforcement is Sunfac, second reinforcement is Boba Fett, third reinforcement is where you start to see some deviation. It could be Bistan, it could be Cassian, it could be Fives, it could be Clone Sergeant, it could be TIE Reaper.
I use Fives
great.
in a Reaper.
Yeah, these are. You see what I'm saying? These are all great choices for that third spot, right? Clone Sergeant comes in with taunt. He also does a target lock. TIE Reaper comes in and can AOE and can dispel or can heal up your dude that is getting ready to die. Both of those.
He also
are awesome.
reduces turn meter.
Exactly. He also reduces turn meter. There's all kinds of. Cassian does an AOE dispel. Bistan does another target lock. There's all kinds of reasons why. Fives does another AOE. And does target lock. There are all kinds of reasons why you could want to use him. And then in that last spot, you get even more variation, right? It could be Ghost. It could be any one of the other ones we just talked about. You could also bring in a one-shot hitter. Let's say that the opponent's Chimera is getting ready to do an AOE heal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want it to do an AOE heal. You could put Poe Dameron even in that last spot to try and finish the match early. You could be like, I just need to get that mofo out of there. Poe Dameron, boom, right? And you're like, sweet, there we go, we're good, right? You could put any number of ships in that last spot. Now, this is working with what you have.
Okay.
This does not. We could easily make the same kind of a call if you wanted to use Tarkin. We could easily make the same kind of a call if you wanted to use Home One. My guess is you have like a really awesome Thrawn, and maybe Tarkin and maybe Akbar are a little bit further down the road than. So then, baby, we got to dance with the one that brung us. Thrawn brung us, so we're gonna dance with him until we can't dance with him no more.
So I've got a question. Wells Fargo's assets frozen.
What?
Gear 9 Sunfac.
I'll put it to you this way, Mike. As David Bones said, Grundy's such a big deal. He can call in late and still be right on time.
Yep.
So let me just tell you, I got Sunfac late. I farmed him out of guild shipment. I mean, out of the guild store. And by the time I could farm him,
he wasn't any use anymore. He's not meta. Yeah.
And I kept looking at him, and I'm like, really? I'm gonna give you two stun guns, bro?
Uh-huh.
And every time I look at him, I'm like, I think Magma Trooper needs some gear. You know, I think Snow Trooper. And then I'm like, he's working at 9. If he stops working at, I'm getting rank 1. There's nobody I can't beat with him at gear 9. Effectively, what do I use him for? I use him to sit there and soak up damage, and I use him to stun some people when he comes in. Whether he takes 5 hits or 8 hits, it doesn't seem to make a real big difference for me in my ship's arena.
So, Dana.
Yes.
Are you working on a second capital ship?
It hasn't been. I mean, if I'm going in order, Tarkin would be after Thrawn's ship, and then Akbar would be after that, and Mace is down really low. But I wasn't, only because of all the other stuff to work on.
No, it wasn't a great. It was just basically just. Is that in the plans? Personally, I would say look at either Home One or Mace as your next ship, because you've already got a maxed out or close to being maxed dark side capital ship.
Okay.
Yeah, to have a similar one light side. Yeah,
okay.
Home One. Yeah, I can. You don't have to do too much to it to make it pretty awesome.
Okay. Akbar has no Zetas.
Akbar has real quick. Neither does Mace yet.
Dun,
dun, dun.
I don't think.
Yeah, Akbar is by far the fastest capital ship too, so you're always going to get the jump on them.
All right, so you got your idea for ships, Dana. So,
so I have a question then, real quick. I haven't spent any of the materials on any of the ships yet.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh, so you got lots of materials.
That's something, because I want to get to your husband's roster review. So get offline with us about that, and we can tell you where to put those, because we could be here forever breaking that down.
Honestly, here's long term. We are talking about you using effectively, 4 out of 7 of the ships that you had planned on using anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is, we're Vader, Biggs, TIE Fighter, regular TIE Fighter pilot,
Joe Mama,
Boba Fett, Sunback, or TIE Reaper, something like that. We've already talked about those ships being the ones you're going to use for the foreseeable future. You know, I'd stick reinforcement abilities on the ships you know are going to be in reinforcement, and I would stick omegas on the ones that we know are going to be in your front lineup. And then once you're done with your front lineup, max with omegas, then start going to the reinforcements.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right.
I can do.
And Dana knows where to find us because, well, he's in our Discord. Now we get to your husband, American Descent's profile, and he's in Empire Vanguard as well. That's shocking. And what is the old hubby looking for us to do for his roster review today?
So let me open up this.
Is this really your alt, or is this really your husband's account?
Yeah, no. This is really his.
We just got $2 from Paul Morgan. He says, "I nominate the Big Deal to do play-by-play again." No, well, that's not happening.
He liked it when I went through the how do you run ships?
No, I think he's talking about to use a basic.
I got an easy way. Rewind the stream.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, rewind the stream. Just do a basic. Do a basic.
Okay. So for my husband, so he wrote Night Sisters. He needs help with who else to work on. He's gearing and starting Night Sisters for the Sith Raid. He needs help with an arena team as well as ship arena, also working on bounty hunters and geo characters and ships. And then he wrote some stuff down. The mods he had on Nest are on Thrawn now, and he wrote down Hermit Yoda and Phoenix. Let me just...
Well, let's look at
He's got a nice roster.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice roster.
He's got some sweet mods. Although I bet he's still a bit jelly about, or a bit.
Well,
very jelly about your plus 25.
He's got Scion, both at 5 stars. So you could go straight Sith. You could go Palpatine with Nihilus, Traya, and Scion, and you can still use your Emperor's Nest if you want to. Or you can go Palpatine, Nihilus, Traya, Scion with a...
I like his arena team.
Yeah, his arena team's fine. I'm just giving him some suggestions. Or you can go Emperor Palpatine, Traya, Scion, Nihilus, and Sith Trooper. I think that'll give you a little bit more bang for your buck. But if you're doing fine in arena, you're happy where you're at, then ignore that. But you got your...
That's my arena team.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a cool team.
I mean, I'm using Palpatine, Nihilus, Scion, Traya, and Thrawn, and I'm just kicking ass with it. So there's get Traya, utilize some kind of combination of that, unless you're just so happy with your arena team that you want to rock and roll with it. You mentioned Night Sisters.
Yeah, he said he's working on the Night Sisters, because I think his are a little behind. He had bad luck with the drops from the events. Well, he was always getting the spirit shards and not the zombie shards.
He's working on Talzin and he's working on Zombie. They're both heading towards 7 stars. I think they're in decent shape. You got to get Mother Talzin up to gear 11, gear 12. Same thing with Asajj. Pick the 5 that you're going to run. I mean, really, technically, because in different scenarios they work. Your Zombie's fine where he's at. Just get her to 7 stars. But you need to get, if you're going to focus on the Night Sisters, forget Initiate. You want Talzin, Asajj, Delica, and Talia as your first priority. You can get Acolyte in there as well eventually, but get them to at least gear 11. Especially for Rogue Sith Raid and other areas, that's where you need them to be at. Leave Zombie alone, other than get them to the 7 stars, you should be fine.
Okay.
What was the other thing he wanted us to look at?
Ships.
What about teams?
He said he's working on Phoenix. He said geo characters and ships. He's also working on bounty hunters.
Well, let's look at his other teams first, because he may be working on the wrong teams.
Well, so, from what I've been hearing in the community too, I mean, the geos work really well with Phantom and Ghost. So if he's working on,
I want to make sure that he's set up for where you're going to get the most payouts, which is going to be territory wars, territory battles, heroic Sith Raid.
Well, even still, I mean, if you're struggling in fleet, those 2 ships right there could, make the difference in your fleet arena. I mean, in your payout. Yeah,
we'll get to ships in a second. I just want to see his overall roster here.
Right.
Troopers look really good. Yeah, so his roster's fine, other than just getting some gear and stars on the Night Sisters. I don't see any weaknesses in his roster.
Okay.
So he's on the right path. So if he's farming Phoenix and Geos now, because it looks like his other rosters are just basically gear other than a couple stars, then that's totally fine. But pick one or the other. Go Phoenix for Phantom and Ghost, or you're going to go Geos for the starting lineup of Soldier, Sunfac, and Spy with Home 1, right? I mean, that kind of leads us into ships. Mods, how are we looking? Do you ask us to look at mods or no?
Sure.
They
Yeah,
look pretty
probably.
Sweet.
Okay.
14 speed is the slowest on page 1 of secondary speeds.
What's the slowest speed?
14.
Okay, are they on the right characters?
Aha, this is question. When's GG going to catch up and start putting little 1s and 2s on all the characters so you don't have to go into them to see whether they got a Zeta?
I'm not.
I just threw it out there in case anyone from SWGG is watching.
Not being conformed to the highest degree of accuracy, I hesitate to articulate for fear that I may deviate from the true course of rectitude.
What the hell?
In short, I do not know.
Jesus Christ.
The hell?
I'm just saying, Vice.
The hell, Grande?
Dude, Grande, my brain hurts now.
Yeah, Grande. Thanks for reading.
His mods are fine.
Yeah.
His mods are pretty much
figured they
concentrated on his arena characters.
Now in ships.
There's probably 10 people listening to chat.
Who are listening to chat?
I mean, who are listening and are typing in chat, who are listening to this, at their, while they're eating lunch, who just about peed in their pants by the fact that I said that because they remember saying it themselves. If you know where I got that statement from, I'll say it again. Not being informed.
I don't need a recap, Grande. Jesus Christ.
I will deviate for the true course of rectitude. If you know where I got that from, hit me up in Discord.
I probably got it for fortune cookie.
Let's reminisce. But I digress. Anyway, back to his mods.
Meanwhile, back in space.
Back in the real world. I don't know why he's struggling in ships. He's got them all. So, and a lot of them gear 12 and stuff. So it's got to be either... I don't think it's a mod issue because we just looked at his mods. So it's got to be lineup he's using in how he's attacking. Because if he's struggling in ships, I don't see it because they're all done other than the new Lando Millennium Falcon. And I'm a little baffled here. Somebody help me because
probably the gear on crew members because I'm in the same position myself. It's finding the right lineup and consistently finding the team that's holding on defense in your shard because I can climb up into the top 20, top 10 even. But then I wake up overnight and I'm back in the 40s. You know what I mean? So it's hard to maintain.
That has to do more with everybody's on equal footing more than anything. I mean, anybody can beat anybody. It's a rock paper scissors game now. I mean, even in arena, I added Trey to my lineup. I'm not dropping as much, but I still dropped a couple of ranks. So I went from 4 to 18. So I'm starting at 18. That's better than I was before. But there's just teams using the same team or vice or a counter team that's going to get you. However, we got to find out who he's running for his starting lineup and who his capital ship is.
All right, so he's using Thrawn ship. He's using Biggs, Vader, and First Order.
Get the First Order out of there. That's the first.
Yeah, that's what I just saw. All right, so First Order TIE Fighter has to get out of here. So then his backup ships are Phantom, Boba, Baron, and TIE Reaper.
No, that's not going to work. No. So first of all, First Order's got to be replaced by TIE Fighter Pilot. Same advice we gave you. If you want to keep Reapers not as an effective ship as it used to be, it's still good off the bench. Bubba I would keep. I mean, the ships that I run is I use Bubba, I use Scimitar still, I use Silencer, and I use Poe off the bench. And I run Biggs, TIE, and Vader ship, right, with Thrawn. You can go different combinations, but I mean... he's looks like he's got he's working on Geos, and if you want to go where you go in that direction, then you go Geos with Home 1. It's a combination. I know, Vince, still you've been doing First Order team. Is Vance still there?
I think he left just a second ago.
Okay, well then we can't figure out what he's using then.
Like I like fives. Like I think fives. If you got his,
I think on a Republic fleet, fives is disgusting. On any other fleet, it just doesn't work for me.
He's
got unresistible target lock.
Yeah, that, and I mean the AOE target or the AOE special, plus when he comes off the bench as a reinforcement, he reduces turn meter too as well. It's a good package.
Don't, and I gotta tell you, don't rule out Clone Sergeant.
I run Clone Sergeant mine for that for those.
But then that's where
fighters.
Right, that's where it falls into what Ranger's saying too about synergy. I mean, like if you're going that way, I mean, I use fives just because he's durable and he's my third reinforcement. So
right, I wish he'd get to that point.
If fives toned, he'd be perfect. Golly.
I mean, a lot of times once I bring in Scimitar, you know, the next ship I'm bringing in is either Silencer or Post ship to do cleanup duty, right, as reinforcement. So I'm a little bit more offensive minded when it comes to my fleet. Now I'm not really invested in fleets. I just get in the top 50 and forget about it, right?
Yeah, so I'm a defensive
I mean, I could go
heavier
into the fleets. it's just not my thing. You know, but effective teams that I've seen, those are the kind of things I'm seeing. Geo's become one. It's a combination. I know Ben's really into running the First Order. I don't know what his capital ship is, so you have to get with him on what he's running. But he's running Shuttle, Silencer,
I think he's doing Tarkin.
Or Special Forces, yeah, with Tarkin.
Yeah.
So there are different combinations that you can run, but it's about knowing who to attack and knowing which reinforcement to bring in and when. If you're getting scuttled, then you need to bring in a defensive ship to kind of hold the line so your Chimera can get going, right? If you're really doing well, you want to bring more offensive ships into the fight. We already know the beginning of the fight how it's supposed to play out. You use your ships to attack their bigs, and then you take it from there. You know, sometimes RNG gets you, but then you react accordingly with your ships to counteract what's happening.
Something that I've done recently is change over. I face a lot of TIE Advanced, Imperial TIE bigs starting lineups, and what I found is I get rid of bigs, and then I get rid of Imperial TIE, because that is such a pitter ship. If you leave it alone, it will one-shot you. Plus, it will bring up foresight, and it gets surrounded by taunting tanks, so you can't get at it. So that's something.
I was going to say on what Grande was talking about earlier, like I 100% agree with him on the strategy for attack, but sometimes, like if the opposing team is running a First Order TIE fighter in their starting lineup, instead of using Chimera's basic with Vader against bigs, I'll use the buff to put offense down on their Vader and First Order TIE fighter, because if not, that First Order TIE fighter will absolutely wreck my entire team. But if I can get that 2 rounds of offense down on him, then, you know, he's like Barris on ships.
Yep.
All right. Anything else we need to look at, Ms. Dana?
Yeah, he has had one question,
Sure.
and I need him to tell me because, okay, what was your question?
Why is Ranger such a great, awesome person? Well, I understand that question.
I know the answer to that.
Because he's friends with the big deal, that's why.
Boom shakalaka, that's where it is. Because he's friends with the big deal.
I wouldn't say friends, is more acquaintances.
Frenemies?
Yeah. What's the question, Dave?
You visit him occasionally.
Yeah, I bring him condiments.
He buys his commissary for him.
Yeah. What's the question?
It's Phantom's reinforcement. Does it when you upgrade it, does it allows you to call in reinforcement with a -1 turn cooldown? Is that worth for any line?
There's mixed opinions on that. And I've had some people that are all for Phantom coming in, and then I've had a lot of people like, nope.
Okay.
So it's still, the word's still out there. I just too many different opinions on it. I mean, on paper it looks nice. Some people that run it say yes, and then I've had other people like, no, this ship sucks.
I haven't tried it with Thrawn. I run kind of that. Yeah, I run 3 Geos, Phantom, Cassian. Who else? Phantom, Cassian. I think I'm running Shuttle and TIE Advanced.
I just can't see it on a Thrawn lineup. I could see it on a Homewood lineup with the Geos, but if you're running Chimera, I don't think the synergy's there, and it just doesn't work for me. You know?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Right.
where I was going to go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You know, but on a home one team with the Geos, that ship coming in doing that, yeah, that's fantastic. But I don't know how.
Okay.
You know,
It's lovely that Phantom will one-shot pretty much anyone.
Awesome.
If you call it off the bench, because you've already whittled them down a bit, and then you bring in Phantom, and it's just like, where do you go?
Yeah, the thing with ships is we're still trying to figure our way out of it. I mean, we're seeing so many people trying different lineups and stuff. There's been no set, and we don't have a meta report to look at like we do with Arena.
Right.
So we're still in that kind of fill out phase. So we don't really have a definite answer. I mean, we can give you some answers like we have already about what's good, what works, what doesn't that we know. But there's still people playing around with different lineups, and there's a lot of opinions out there. The best thing I can say about ships is take what people are saying, but then test out stuff yourself, find out what works best for you. That's your best way. Experimentation is always the best route to go. So. Was there anything else? It's a pretty damn good looking. I mean, he's on the right path. He's doing the right things. I mean, he's there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No.
Sisters and stuff, and Moz look great. Rita looks great. He could probably dig around with it a little bit, but I mean, he looks really solid. I don't have anything. Ships. We gave our 2 cents. Mods are fine. So yeah, he looks solid.
I hope he's donating every time you request.
Oh, he always. I'm like the queen of donations. I'm probably close to 7,000 lifetime donations at this point, and so yeah, he always donates.
People are like,
he would do it anyway.
Dana gives gear. She's awesome. All right. All right, so that's a roster review for the Descent Familia. And, of course, if you guys have more questions, just hit us up in Discord. I'll be more than glad to help you out. Of course. All right, let's get to some regular questions. What do you say there, Stanley? I'm sure we got some questions.
Yeah, we got some questions.
Yeah, I bet we do.
Dennis Yorth.
Uh-huh.
Well, I kind of keep switching between either farming the characters I need or trying to farm mods. And because I farm the characters I need, I miss out on the events, and because I miss out on the events, I start dropping an arena. So I'm getting kind of desperate to farm characters, but then I miss the mods. It's a never-ending cycle. So what can I do to break it?
Okay.
Balance, bro. You gotta have balance.
So for, let's say, Cantina. Stay on target. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And you cannot get sidetracked by the new shiny, right? Pick a character. Let's say you're farming Death Trooper, right? Stick with him, right? There are exceptions to this rule, but stick with him. Pick a team and farm it up. That's the best way to do it. So what you want to do is compartmentalize. So certain characters you need, and certain characters are nice to have, and some you just don't need, period, right? So for instance, JTR, CLS, those are characters you need, right? Phoenix is nice to have. Ugnaught and Cup are characters you don't even need to dick around with. So once you start breaking it down into those levels, and you say, okay, which team do I want to focus on first, right? Which is going to get me the most bang for my buck? I want JTR. Okay, you want JTR. What do you need to get JTR? You need BB-8. What do you need for BB-8? You need a first order team. So that's one. Then you need the 2 vets, and then you need Finn. So you focus in on that specifically. You can't sit there and say, I want JTR and I'm going to do this. Oh, by the way, I want CLS and I want to do this. It's just, you're pushing yourself in too many different directions. Just because you don't have something doesn't mean you can't go for it. You just have to be smart about which path you take. So if you want CLS, then figure out what you need, farm those characters, right? And lay out a plan. you know, if you're trying to put yourself in all these different directions, so when it comes to mods, right? Like if you're farming, say for instance, Death Trooper, pick like you know how many mods you need and where you're hurting. So pick 5 days. Some days it's 5, some days it's 4 that you do nothing but you farm Death Trooper, and then the other days you do mods. Plain and simple. And the best mods are speed and crit damage to get a lot of them in. And by doing that for the events and stuff, you'll eventually catch up to where you're able to do those events. But you've got to start from somewhere. Let's say you want to do the events and you want to work on Night Sisters. Fine, go for it. But go all in on Night Sisters until you've got that event locked down. Move on to the next thing. Let's say you haven't got the credit heist done. I mean, that's the first thing you should be working on. But get your scoundrels to where you've got 5 scoundrels to do the event to where you just do sim. Then, you know, you got to be smart about which direction you take. And we see it too many times with people that they're doing this, they stop, and they go do this, and then they stop, and then they go chase this. You can't chase. You have to stay focused. And what will happen when you stay focused is you will eventually catch up. I know it sounds crazy, but you will catch up to where you can be a viable person for raids, territory battles, territory wars, and get your arena squared away. Your first priority is your arena team. And then after that, pick a team, what you want to focus on, and then do it. It's that simple.
Thane Kyrell, question for Ranger. Was I right about the Interceptor in Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
Saw you flying it, and you did well, aside from the few times you crashed.
Well, the space debris really throws me off because I get so fixated on, you know, destroying stuff that I'll make a sharp turn, and it's a very maneuverable ship, but it maneuvers quicker than the fighter does, and I would run into stuff all the time because I'd be like trying to do a hard bank and like, oh, space debris. Lovely. It's like, and sometimes you don't even touch it, you just near it, and if you're close enough, you just it counts it as you hit it, and then you explode. It's like, really? I like the Interceptor a lot. It's what you lose in armament, armor, you gain in armament, and they're very maneuverable. They're different kinds, but yeah, I like the ship. I'm going to work on it some more.
Okay, Paul Morgan, question, which bounty hunter contracts are worth maxing out, and is there an order?
I've not done really anything with those. Anybody else want to take this one?
What's the question again?
Bounty hunter contracts.
Boba Fett and 88. Boss.
I mean, that's what I did, Boba Fett.
Those are the 3 I've done.
I've done all of the contracts, all the Omegas on them. But let me just tell you, I don't plan on getting.
Good.
I mean,
I haven't gotten to it though.
I don't really wait to get to the. I'm not trying to get shards of Wampa from contracts or shards of anything. When it comes around, it just goes straight to the shard shop because I have all those characters 7-starred some other way. None of those characters that I get from that are super awesome. So don't do it for the contract. Don't do it for the contract event that comes around once in a blue moon. Like that's weird, right? So don't do it.
Yeah, I got Bubba's. It's fine. It works for me really well in dark side territory battles. So,
I mean,
Vin Silly has done all those too, and Zeta that snot out all those characters. He would be he'd be a really good source as well as Grande for that. I mean, and I'm trying to think of who he likes. I just cannot remember. He's talked about it.
I'm gonna tell you right here. You know, it's either Boba Fett or it's Bosk as the leader, and I would. If you have a Bosk that's, you know, gear 11, I'd say it's Bosk as the leader, even if he's not 7-starred.
Sure.
And you want to Zeta his leader ability because they recover 5% health and protection. You know, the taunt one is okay, but the Bosk unique is okay, but not totally necessary.
I just like Boba Fett myself. I think he's just so good. The things he offers with his leader and his contract.
Tell you, IG-88 Zeta is pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of like that one. And I kind of like Greedo Zeta as well. I'm not like super thinking it's OP when to have Dengar Zeta, by the way. And then if you're missing one of those characters, then you can either go with Cad Bane or with Zam, and I'd say Zam is most of the time better than Cad Bane.
Someone say Bane. I've arrived. right, next question.
Nathaniel Miller, question. I just got all my ships to max level. How should I prioritize using my prestige in my capital ships?
Your main capital ship first.
Yeah.
Arena.
Well, so here we go, right? Yeah, let's throw Mace under the bus. We're not putting prestige on Mace ever. Period. Right?
Not unless the other ones.
So now we have to decide: are we going to use Thrawn, Tarkin, or Akbar? You have to look and say, okay, which one? First of all, which one has the highest amount of gear already and the most amount of Zetas? You're probably going to be going with either Thrawn or you're going to go with Akbar, more than likely, because you've already put Zetas on Thrawn for another reason, or because you've got a maxed out Akbar and you did it for heroic AAT. Typically, those are the first two ships you're going to do. It's one light, one dark. It's rare that I would tell someone to go for Tarkin first, but I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. Then you got to say, okay, with Akbar, if we go back to Geos plus Phantom and Ghost. If your Geos and Phantom and Ghost are good, I would say go Akbar. If your Geos and Phantom and Ghost are not good, then I would say you go back to Thrawn. It's a decision tree. So once you're back on Thrawn, then it's Biggs, TIE Advanced, and regular TIE Fighter pilot, plus Sunfac 5s, something and something.
And the baby Jesus. All right, there you go.
I think we just answered that question earlier, but when we were doing Dana's
good
review.
recap.
Ski Trooper, question. How awesome is Jedi Master Adastra? She gave me such a great course in building a Jedi team. Yeah, she is awesome. She donated $600 in the last hour of the charity stream and helped spur on more donations to put us over the 9,001 goal.
Well, we hit well over that, and then we hit over 10,000. I'm going
to tell you, Adastra is an amazing resource in the community. Yes. I cannot even tell you how much she knows about stuff and just how awesome a person she is. If you don't know her, if you haven't heard her talk on any of our streams, she's really, and she's good with more than just Jedi. We think of her as Jedi because she's super good with that, but it's kind of like, players that are really good have a team they like, right? If you talk to Ranger's going to talk to you till you're blue in the face about First Order, right? I'm going to talk to you till I'm blue in the face about how you need to get your Night Sisters up. Adastra's going to talk to you about Jedis. It's just because we know a certain team better than we know other teams. That doesn't mean that we don't know those other teams. It just means that we have a favorite. It's like children. We all have a favorite. We just don't tell them that they're our favorite.
That's right. That's science.
And sometimes we change our favorites.
That's right. All right, next question.
We're out of questions.
Oh wow, we did a good job.
Yay!
Everyone's getting ready for the match.
Yes, England's getting ready to face El Colombianos.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think they got a chance? I mean, how do you think it's going to go? I think that England's got a good chance of winning, but still Colombia, they're a damn good team.
They're good.
Let's hope
I think that England running their A team, which played in the first game against Tunisia, I don't think Colombia have the players to withstand the onslaught. And if Trippier is delivering crosses and set pieces the way he did on the first two games, then we should be awesome.
Will we see any more epic flops? Is the question.
That is.
As long as one of the Colombians doesn't hit it in their own goal, and we don't have to have the tale of two Escobars again.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Do you remember that Colombian player that was killed because he missed? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, his name was Escobar, and he was killed by the.
There's a 30/30 documentary on that on ESPN.
There is one
really
of that. It's called the two. It's called the two Escobars. Yeah, it was a weird deal.
And Pablo Escobar did not. I mean, people think that he had something to do with it. He didn't. Someone associated with him did. I mean, he was all about soccer in Colombia. He's the one that funded soccer in Colombia, which is a really strange thing to say about a drug lord, but he was all about soccer, and he did like all kinds of crap to make soccer in Colombia like a top-notch thing. So it's really sad. All right, if that's all the questions, then we're going to leave it there. Yes, Dana.
We did get a last.
Yes, Dana.
Bimasu has a question.
Which of the Geo ships special to max first? I can only do one right now.
Out of all three, I'd say Sunfact.
I
do Sunfact first.
Yeah, I would.
Tanky, spanky.
Yeah, I've only got 2 things to do on my Sunfact now. 3 things. I haven't done the 75 super duper, but all I've got left on his main abilities is to 8-star grudge and air superiority. Otherwise, he's maxed, and I'm just having a look at the other 2. Geo Spy still got 2 abilities to go, and Soldier 2 abilities to go. Yeah, I'm working my way through them, but they're all the 20 Ujimi flips, ship ability material, ship omegas. The depends how well he's going, but the one that can be very interesting is Geo Spies, because he comes in and throws taunt onto 2 ships, which can mean that even though you've got a taunt active on their side, you can actually, if RNG's with you, it's put onto Imperial TIE or TIE Advanced, and you can get rid of those very quickly if that's the case. It's a fun one, but Sunfact would be the one.
All right. I think that's all the questions and stuff. So thanks everybody in the panel for being here today. Thank you for everybody for watching us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, if you're watching us, you should subscribe so you know when we're streaming. Remember, there's no lunch stream tomorrow. We will be having a stream for our regular Wednesday show, but no lunch stream. We got a lot of amazing stuff coming up with Battlefront, with Galaxy Heroes, a whole bunch of stuff. So the only way you're going to know about it is if you're subscribed. You do not want to miss what we got coming up. And if you have questions, come into our community. We got a Discord. It's linked below. We got an amazing group of people that will help you answer your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions or any game that we're playing that you want to be a part of. So, that being said, thanks everybody for stopping by. We really appreciate it. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you later today for the Battlefront 2 stream, which will be tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow for the regular stream. Everyone take care, and we'll talk to you then. Peace.
Bye.